Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to math. Today we're going to be working on triangles. Okay, today we're going to be looking specifically into geometric triangles, meaning that we're solving for the sides of the triangle. Okay, they're not perfectly cut in half. I will say this, the objective for today is to find all the parts of a triangle, meaning we have to find not A, but X, Y, and Z. Okay, meaning we probably have to use a few different steps. Okay, I will show you the different steps on the board in a minute, but keep in mind, whenever you're solving for a side, okay, of a triangle, for example, X, notice that the triangle, it's smaller. We have the right triangle on the bigger side. When we're solving for X, we have to put this into account. A, B, or X, okay, equals radical of the opposite line, okay? So across from it, we have A, B, and C. So the whole thing, AC, times the piece that is on that side, meaning AD, okay? It might not make sense at the moment, but we're going to see it in a minute, okay? When solving for Y on the other side, we have to do the same thing. The only difference now is we're doing the whole thing, AC, times the side on this side, which is DC, okay? This piece here. For X, we did AD. For Y, we're going to do BC, okay? Meaning that if I have a triangle, hopefully I can draw this triangle. We have 15, we have Q, P, S, R, we have Y, we have X, we have Z, and it tells us that the whole thing here, okay, is 25. Okay, that's all it gives us. By just looking at this triangle, okay, we can actually solve for the sides. Meaning, if you guys remember, if we're dealing with one side, in this case 15, okay, we're going to pretend this is X on the side. So we're dealing with one side. So we have 15 equals radical, remember, of the opposite side, which in this case is the whole thing, because remember, AC is the whole thing. AC, which is 25, times just itself, the piece on this side, which is SP, which is X. Okay? Now, we can actually solve for this piece of the triangle, which is 15 equals radical of 25x. We get rid of the radical by doing a square on the other side. Square, they cancel out. 15 times 15 is 225 equals 25x. Divide by 25, because remember we're solving for x. X equals, since I already have it done here, it's 9. Okay, 25 can go into 225 9 times. So X equals 9. Okay, now that we have that, now that we know that X equals 9, we can subtract 9 from 25. That will give us Y. Okay, so we can say 25 minus 9 equals, does anybody know? 16. Okay, that means that y equals 16. Notice how it's all fitting together now. We have already x solved, we have y solved, we need to solve for z. If you guys remember, again, y, the opposite side, okay, now where the square is, we're doing the whole thing again, but this time dc. So we have the whole thing, which is 25, so z equals radical of 25 times only rs, because it's on that side, which is 16. Okay, so z equals radical of 25 times 16. So let's see here in the calculator, what do we get? 25 times 16, 400. Radical of 400. So we get 400, and then c equals 20. Okay, so c equals 20. So now we solve for x, y, and z. Okay, keep that rule in play. Keep that rule in your thoughts. This way it makes it a lot easier. Remember, whenever you're solving for a side, doesn't matter which side it is. If you're doing the bottom one side, make sure you get the whole other side plus whatever section you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the bottom side, get the bottom section. If you're dealing with the top part, get the whole thing and then the top part. Okay, for your radicals. And then obviously, to solve for the other one, just subtract. But what if it wasn't this simple? Okay, let's do another one that is a little different. I hope everybody had it down on your notes. If not, rewind the video a little back so you guys can actually write down the notes. Alright, what if we had this instead? What if we had okay? What if we had that? We have 2, 5, solve for y, x, and z. Okay? Again, we can actually do the sides. Okay? We can solve for y and for z. The same exact way for the first part. Again, I'm going to use y first. So y, let's use another color here. So y equals radical, again, the whole thing, which is 5 times 2, which is 10, times just this piece here, which is 2. So y equals radical of 10 times 2, which is 20. Okay? Since that doesn't have a perfect square root, for now I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay? So y equals radical of 20. Can we do the same thing for z, but this time the opposite? Can we do again? We can. We can say z equals radical of 2 times 5, which is 10, times 5, because it's on this side. So c equals radical of 50. Again, we're going to leave it as it is for now. Radical of 50. Okay? I don't want you guys to really break it down. It's just want you guys to get into the habit of knowing how to solve for x, y, and z. But wait. We still have x to solve for. We solve for the sides. Can we solve for the inside? We can. We're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay? We're going to choose one of the sides. In this case, I'm going to choose the smaller side, which is radical of 20. So radical of 20 squared plus 2 Okay, but wait. Notice that we have our 90 degrees here. What's always across from our 90 degrees? Our hypotenuse, right? So radical of 20 squared equals, because that's going to be your C, x squared plus 2 squared. Because we have our height and our base. So 2 times 2 is 4. We have x squared equals radical of 20 times 20 is 400. So we have shift radical of 20 times shift radical of 20 equals, well, technically it's radical of 400, which is radical of 400 is 20 equals x squared plus 4. Subtract 4 on both sides to leave x alone. So 20 minus 4 is 16 equals x squared. How do we get rid of an x squared? We radical it. Cancel out. So x equals radical of 16, which is actually equals 4. So our x equals 4. Okay? So notice I still use our basic steps. The only difference is I use also the Pythagorean Theorem to solve for one of the bases. Okay? Alright, make sure you have it all on your notes. Your problems for today are, if you need more time to write them down, pause the video. Okay? Here's the first one. Again, solve for x, y, and z. And your second one is alright guys, make sure you submit your answers as soon as you're done watching the video, and I'll be here waiting for your email.